Before we start, make sure you subscribe and like this video. This incident took place last year when I was casually shopping at my local Walmart. It was a relatively quiet weeknight, around 8 or 9 o'clock in the evening. I had been in the store for about 15 minutes, browsing the fitness equipment aisle. I was contemplating purchasing one of those massage guns, though I hadn't initially planned to buy one that day, or even at Walmart. As I stood there, examining the product, I overheard voices coming from the next aisle over, which happened to be the toy section in the back corner of the store. At first, I paid little attention, focused on my own task. However, soon I heard a man's voice saying, "I'll buy you this toy if you come with me." I initially assumed it was the child's father, but the request struck me as odd. I couldn't quite make out the child's response, but then the man said, "Your mom said it's okay." This raised a red flag, and I started to suspect this was not the child's parent. The man then began to urge the child, saying, "Come on, let's go," a few times, and I heard them start to walk towards the end of the aisle. I felt a strong sense of unease about the situation and debated whether I should intervene or just mind my own business. Ultimately, I decided to take a quick look down the aisle to assess the scene. As I approached, I saw a man in a black jacket and winter hat holding the hand of a young child and leading her away. I quickly grabbed a random toy off the shelf, a stuffed animal, and went over to them saying, "Excuse me, I was wondering if you could help me pick out a gift for my niece." The man turned around, looking surprised. I told him I thought he might have some insight, since he seemed to be with a child. He claimed the child was not his daughter, and that he was just watching her for the moment, but then said they really needed to leave. They quickly walked away, and I was left unsure if I had overreacted or if my instincts were correct. About 30 seconds later, I heard a woman's voice calling out a name, let's say Sarah. She was visibly concerned, calling for her daughter. I approached her and asked if Sarah was her daughter, to which she replied yes. I explained that I thought I had seen a man with a child matching her description, and they seemed to be leaving the store. We both rushed to the front, where we spotted the man and the child at the self-checkout. The mother confronted the man, who claimed he was just trying to be kind and buy the toy for the girl. However, realizing no one would believe him, he tried to flee, but was eventually apprehended not long after. It turned out the girl had wandered off from her mother while she was shopping in another area of the store, and the man had attempted to take advantage of the situation. I never thought a routine trip to Walmart could turn into a nightmare, but that's exactly what happened one fateful evening. It was a chilly autumn night, and the flickering fluorescent lights of the Walmart parking lot only added to the ominous atmosphere as I parked my car. Despite the uneasy feeling that washed over me, I brushed it off, attributing it to the late hour and the empty parking lot. As I stepped out of my car, the air seemed to grow colder, sending shivers down my spine. Pushing my cart through the automatic doors, I entered the brightly lit store. The familiar scent of cleaning chemicals mixed with the aroma of cheap plastic greeted me as I navigated the aisles. At first, everything seemed normal, but as I ventured deeper into the store, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The aisles stretched out endlessly before me, each one identical to the last, and I felt like I was walking in circles, unable to find what I had come for. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, casting eerie shadows on the shelves, and my heart began to race as I realized I was alone in this vast labyrinth. I tried to focus on my shopping list, but the aisles seemed to shift and rearrange themselves as if mocking my attempts to make sense of it all. Panic bubbled up inside me as I struggled to understand what was happening. Suddenly, I heard a faint whisper echoing through the aisles, a voice so soft and sinister that it sent shivers down my spine. I froze, listening intently as the whispers grew louder, surrounding me from all sides. I felt as though I was being watched, scrutinized by unseen eyes lurking in the darkness. Desperate to escape, I abandoned my cart and began to run, my footsteps echoing loudly in the empty store. But no matter how fast I ran, I couldn't seem to find the exit, the aisles stretching on endlessly, leading me in circles. As the whispers grew louder and more insistent, I stumbled and fell, my heart pounding in my chest as I struggled to catch my breath. That's when I saw it, a figure standing at the end of the aisle, bathed in shadow. It was tall and thin, with limbs that seemed to contort and twist in unnatural ways, its eyes gleaming with a malevolent light as it watched me, its lips curling into a cruel smile. Terrified, I scrambled to my feet and fled, the creature's laughter echoing in my ears as I ran. I finally burst through the doors and into the parking lot, gasping for air as I stumbled towards my car. I didn't look back as I drove away, desperate to leave that nightmare behind me. To this day, I can't shake the feeling that Walmart holds secrets far darker than anyone could imagine, and I pray that I never have to set foot in that store again. My sister and I used to play this game where we would each go to Walmart with $20 and challenge the other to find the strangest item in 10 minutes. We frequented the same Walmart, as it was only a short drive from our house, and we were familiar with its layout. As I wished my sister luck at the entrance, I hurried to the far side of the store, where they usually had the most bizarre items. I was rummaging through an enormous box of plush animals when I noticed a man leaning on a nearby toy shelf, staring at me. I gave him a polite smile, trying not to be impolite, and quickly made my way over to the clothing section. I heard someone clear their throat behind me and say, "That would suit you," as I began to search through the racks, looking for something with a goofy print. I turned to face the man, who was grinning at me, and gestured towards a rack of lacy underwear. I found this quite strange. Why was this person following me around the store and making such strange comments? I decided to leave the area, but before I could, the man reached out and grabbed my arm, saying, "Hey, it's rude not to reply." I was able to shake off his hand and hurriedly leave, making sure to go through a more crowded aisle, so that if he pursued me, I wouldn't be alone. I thought he had taken the hint and left me alone, but when the time was almost up and I hadn't found anything, I chose to head out to the parking lot, where I always met my sister. However, when I got to her car, she wasn't there. I hovered above the car, whispering to myself to hurry up, as she had the keys. I took out my phone to call her and find out her whereabouts, and she said she was still waiting in line at the register. As our conversation was coming to an end, I turned to look at the store and noticed the eerie man leaning against a shopping cart return, staring at me. I didn't want him to approach my sister the way he had approached me, so I started to panic. I tried to call her again, but she didn't pick up. I watched as she crossed the parking lot, carrying an ice cream tub and I quickly moved to the side, hoping the man wouldn't notice her. I watched as his eyes widened when my sister started shouting to me from closer to the car. He began to move in her direction, and I could see that he was reaching inside his jacket. I yelled at my sister to hurry, and she quickly unlocked the car. We both jumped in and locked the doors. Just as the man reached us, he simply stood there. Please subscribe and like the video. Also comment your favorite horror movie so I can stay motivated to upload more videos like this.